You will have a confectioner who died after an accident. He could not fulfill his biggest dream, so they gave him the opportunity to embody a new world after defending 72 attacks. The city was destroyed by a bunch of bandits was captured, but their leader managed to escaped with his friend, so he had to go to save him, and he escaped with his own ability. It then begins with him sitting in his office informing his team that they are running out of money. He tells them that they need to cover the losses after the recent attack on the road sector, as it was very difficult reopening the 2 closed villages as a difficult task. Understands that village wells dry up and houses are completely destroyed, which is a very difficult and time-consuming activity, which results in a rapid depletion of financial resources. Sector that has escaped and has yet to be found. But his assistant tells him that they have put up many advertisements around the city, offering a huge reward of 200 gold to anyone who brings the leader's head. The problem is, they don't have money and can't borrow from anyone. Then they discuss the nobles of the royal court, but Bess's assistant at that time recommends asking her grandfather for help, but he reminds her that their relationship has been broken for more than 10 years, and he comes to them to ask for money because he can't go now. And then on the day of his meeting with his wife, they lose their members. Despite everyone's opposition, they overcome all obstacles and decide to run away from the city together. On the other hand, the next morning Bess and her friends are in the yard. They are sitting in the office, where they were discussing their conversation from the night before. Mark urged them not to hide anything, but it was best to change the subject and ask Lumi if he was feeling better, if he could walk and move around now, and Lumi told him that he was fine. Lum does, and the doctor said he can go out and move around but still has a slight pain that will gradually go away over time. The best is very happy for Mark and Lumi because they are a wonderful husband, are going to be wives. But Mark gets angry and says that they are not. Then they discuss the land area because they want to use as much farmland as possible to expand, but it takes a lot of time and money. Then Lumi asks about the pumpkin pie she made a few days ago, that it was very tasty. Make some of it and sell it in the city to collect a large amount of money. Best considers this idea and enters the kitchen to make his famous pumpkin pie. After an hour of making the best pumpkin pie, it will be a very pleasant experience, but it will be clear, in the process. He says that he was lost in his thoughts. Then he tells them that if they want to produce enough to make a large profit, they need a way to get large quantities of pumpkins. Mark talks to him and suggests that he learn supernatural abilities, and so that magic can drink a lot of tea. He believes that magic will make him rich and allow him to eat many delicious things every day. But it is not so. Magic is nothing more than a visual trick. At that time Lumi laughs at him, says not to be, because it takes a long time to learn magic, and even if he learns it, he can't use it. Mark hears her words and gets very angry with her. He hurts her with her words because she is weak and nothing can't, because he's so stupid. He best intervenes and directs them to stop the fight. Then Lumi asks about the spell that was best used a few days ago. But Bess is lost in her thoughts, and when she thinks about sweets, believing that it is not easy, he talks to himself. His previous world, he spends the night brainstorming ideas with his colleagues. Then Bess tells Mark and Lumi to draw whatever they want on the ground. Mark begins to draw and asks about the best picture. Mark tells her it's the dragon he's fighting, but Bess is shocked. He thinks to himself that he looks like a little worm with legs, not a dragon, because his creator. We switch to Lumi, who draws the famous bonka fruit and a bonka pie next to it. But Mark teases him that he looks like a Lumi stone, hurt by Mark's words because his drawing looks like a snake. They continue to argue until he says it's best to intervene and use the compensation now. When he finishes, he gives the best drawing to Mark and Lumi. But when Lumi tries to erase it, he sees that it won't disappear. The best tells them that the drawing will last for 3 days. Can copy someone's drawing and turn it into an outstanding painting. He can make a lot of money. The best thing is to hold his hand and look at him and be so surprised. He's so cool, says that because that's exactly what he wanted. But he didn't think before that. Bess apologizes for touching his future wife. On the other hand, we see Abu Bess and his wife talking to the assistant about the current situation. They want a lot of money, and when they bring the matter to his wife, he tells her. She apologizes that she's not sure her father will be of much help, that her husband is embarrassed, and then her son tells her that the best thing to do is rush in and find the perfect way to make money, and ask her father to die. Asks him to tell about Z. Tries to marry her sister. Her father informs her that her sister is now 13 and close to marrying age. Because Bess has the ability to teleport, she can take the portrait anywhere. Her father, also happy to show off his gorgeous daughter. She asks about parents who don't have the ability to teleport, and her father tells her that the best way for these parents to attend the royal ceremony in the capital is too dangerous, says it is possible. It is said that when a noble man, traveling through his wealth, turns his wings and flies, he begins to think of the best, and when he decides to use his power to reproduce someone on canvas, as he did with his mother, everyone will do what he did. He is surprised by his work. The image is so similar to the original, as if the mother were seeing herself in a mirror. That Bess informs them that she calls these images marriage mediation portraits. They can give their children as gifts without going on a trip, which they offer to the parents who want to marry their children. The father will look at the picture and think about how many gold coins he will ask for such a portrait, much cheaper than a hand-drawn picture because they never pay for materials, because it is created using magic. Many parents pay even more to present their children using these portraits, so he agrees to the idea, but his assistant warns him that they will do it. The nature of his child's magic will be revealed, but it's clear that they won't hide the truth forever, and eventually everyone will learn about his powers. If they continues, people realize that her magic is limited to creating portraits, so the best she can is to hide her true abilities from everyone's sight, after which her mother takes the portrait and informs her in the best possible way that she has wrinkles on her face that must be removed. Besni disturbs. Then Bess and her father enter to greet this governor, who happens to be the sector governor, Righteous Borderlands. On the other hand, we learn that Bess's father spoke to her before telling her that she was the eldest daughter of Count Whitish, who died in conflict, and that his only legitimate heir was too young at the time, in power until heir reaches adulthood. So he is the current governor of the sector. Because heir died before puberty, we return to reality and Bess's father thanks this governor for the wonderful times he spent with her. Then the governor is the best age and best of all invites them to tea. The table she is impressed by the pastries and cookies. The governor tells them that tea is one of our family's specialties and we offer only the best to our guests. Then Bess's father drinks the tea and finds it very good, which makes the governor very happy. We like to get biscuit bread, but he doesn't like it at all, and it shows in his face, and the governor notices it, as most children are very happy when offered sweets of any kind, and then they have the best tea, but he doesn't, because this dessert is too sweet and spoils the taste of the excellent tea. The governor tells Bess's father that he will prove to be a great leader, not only in military affairs, but also in getting all the crops out of the barren land. Very happy to hear this praise. The governor then tells them that he wants to learn the secrets of farming and husbandry. The governor believes. He says this out of humility, and that he struggles with embarrassment to keep his land united, as he brags about his accomplishments, leaving his son Bess to farm the wasteland despite being a child of less than 10 years old. Ulanin and remembers well that he achieved it. After flourishing, the governor talks to Bess and she uses this moment to tell him that her prosperous family owes to her father, but the sector that her father spent all his efforts and tears in has recently been attacked terribly by the road sector. Even me and my peers had to fight when I was a child. He is upset that he left this boy to do such things. He tries to change the subject and he takes the responsibility of the nobility, says it's amazing to see what he got. Despite his young age, Bess continues to speak out and says that when we spoke to those affected by the road sector, they admitted that they came from the British Autumn, which the governor was angry about, and that he would negotiate for damages. He knows, he pretends not to know, something on this matter, since he has not received any information about it. It is best if he suspects that he is ready to hand over part of the road sector to them, and this may lead to an official investigation. The governor said, "Suppose we guess your theory, true. Perhaps your group was destroyed at our borders, but a few of them managed to escape to your borders." Best remembered when his father said that attempts to destroy the road sector in the White Fish had failed. The most better tell him that the road sector has claimed. They went over to their side after they got rid of the persecutors in their area. If you claim that your family destroyed the road sector, the forces that got rid of them can prove that the governor in there. He asks if there is any evidence to back up his story, and then Bess's father gets it. If you pull out a sword and say it's being carried by a member of the road sector and that your family's coat of arms is engraved on it, everyone will be surprised to expose their lies. They don't have the road sector confirms that they can't and instead turn around, since their attacks on our sector have failed. The governor insists that he cannot confirm this information and at best says that if they come to our area from your region, they have no intention of causing any problems in the road sector due to this incident. We would be very grateful if you would compensate us for all the losses we have suffered. If the governor agrees to negotiate and promises to return with 100 gold coins, he will best say that he has suffered a great loss, and it is clear that they deserve to be restored to their former state. Surprised that he doesn't talk like the other kids, then he adds 30 gold, but the best doesn't accept it. They settle for 150 gold and the governor is very annoyed. He agrees and he father consults with. He approves the governor. This boy is surprised and realizes that his father's words are not modesty. But the truth is that the father usually negotiates. But 150 coins still faces the possibility of losing the king's trust after allowing the road sector to plunder the neighboring lands. Best confirms this number, coins, and tells his father that it is 150 gold, after which the governor tells the young man that he underestimated him because of his age, but he admits defeat and asks that he forgive him if he spoke disrespectfully. Then they will find out each other, and the best gives him a wonderful gift. He gives her a portrait of himself that he copied using his special technique. He is very happy with this gift and thanks her for it. This is tea and he presented says it's a sign of gratitude for everything. And for them it ends there.